Hey, Cowboys Nation. It's time to dive deep into the world of Dallas Cowboys football, where every play, every matchup, and every point scored matters more than ever. We are at a crucial moment in the season, and the playoff picture is shaping up to be one of the most intense and chaotic in recent memory. With only a handful of games remaining, the stakes could not be higher, and the path to the postseason is filled with potential drama, heartbreak, and triumph. The NFC race is especially tight, and every team is battling not only their opponents, but also the ticking clock of remaining games. The current standings show just how competitive things are. At the top, we see the Chicago Bears holding the #1 seed, narrowly edging out the Los Angeles Rams, who are right behind them at #2. The Seahawks sit in 5th place, already in the thick of the playoff hunt, and the Philadelphia Eagles have slipped back to a record of 8 wins and 4 losses, landing them in the middle of the division race. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, now at 7 wins and 5 losses, are still vying for the NFC South, while Seattle has already secured 9 wins. The Packers hold a solid position with 8 wins and 3 losses, and the San Francisco 49ers are at 9 wins and 4 losses. The Cowboys themselves sit just half a game behind the Detroit Lions, holding 7 wins and 5 losses, and are slightly ahead of the Carolina Panthers, who have 7 wins and 6 losses. When you start doing the math on all these potential outcomes, it becomes clear that the Eagles' 8-4 record carries the looming threat of a collapse, meaning nothing is guaranteed yet, and every game has huge implications for the final playoff picture. Looking at the current playoff simulations, the Cowboys have roughly a 24% chance of making the playoffs. Within that, 11% is tied to winning the division, and 13% comes from earning a wild-card spot. After the Cowboys' recent win over the Kansas City Chiefs, these odds have shifted slightly. While the probability of a wild-card berth has only inched up by a single percent, the chances of winning the division jumped significantly, adding 9% to the equation. That is a tangible difference, and it underscores just how critical each game and each victory is in shaping the postseason outlook. There are 2 main paths the Cowboys can take to secure their playoff berth: winning out the remaining games or navigating a combination of victories and necessary help from other teams. Winning out remains the most straightforward route, and if they manage it, they're virtually guaranteed a postseason spot, with current simulations showing about a 98% probability of qualifying. With 5 games remaining, this means the Cowboys need minimal outside help if they can sweep their schedule. Even a single stumble, however, significantly complicates the picture and increases the reliance on the outcomes of other matchups. The path to the playoffs is not just about winning your own games. It's about watching the ripple effects of other teams' performances across the league. The upcoming schedule is demanding. Thursday Night Football against the Lions looms as a massive challenge with playoff implications, followed by road games against the Vikings and the Chargers, both of which come with the added pressure of primetime visibility. The Cowboys will also face the Commanders and the Giants, completing a slate that requires peak performance in both preparation and execution. While theoretically, they could drop a single game and still make it, the margin for error is razor thin, and every loss magnifies the complexity of what is required from other teams to help secure a postseason spot. A loss against the Lions, in particular, would dramatically alter the standings, putting the Cowboys further behind in the NFC East race and potentially elevating a wild-card competitor above them. It is a reminder that each game is not only a battle for wins, but also a chess match in the larger strategic picture of playoff seeding. Meanwhile, the NFC landscape itself is wildly competitive. The Eagles, sitting at 8 wins and 4 losses, still have the capacity to contend, and any slip-ups on their part could open the door for the Cowboys to advance. Philadelphia faces critical matchups in the weeks ahead, including a showdown on Monday Night Football against the Chargers and subsequent games against the Raiders and the Commanders. These contests will be pivotal in determining whether the Eagles maintain control of the division or falter, creating opportunities for Dallas. Observing these dynamics is essential because the Cowboys' playoff fate is intertwined not only with their own results, but also with the outcomes of these high-stakes games across the conference. The margins are incredibly narrow, A single win or loss in the wrong place can shift the balance between making the postseason and missing out entirely. As the season progresses, the wild card race is equally compelling, with teams like the 49ers, Panthers, and Packers jostling for positioning. The landscape remains fluid. Half a game separates the top seed from the seventh, highlighting just how unpredictable and intense this stretch of the schedule is. Detroit and Carolina remain in the mix as well, each holding opportunities to disrupt the playoff picture. The key for Dallas will be to win their matchups, while also monitoring these other results, calculating how potential losses by rivals could benefit their own standing. The margin for error is slim, and even winning 4 out of 5 of the remaining games may require careful consideration of tiebreakers and other variables, adding layers of strategy to an already thrilling season. As we look ahead, the Cowboys must also consider the schedules of the Bears, Rams, and Packers. Chicago's tougher remaining schedule and the Packers' tie scenarios create a complex matrix of outcomes that could swing in Dallas' favor if executed correctly. Los Angeles faces challenges as well, with a mixture of easier and more difficult opponents that could influence the final standings. Every game matters, and understanding not only your own team's performance, but also the ebb and flow of the entire conference is essential for predicting and cheering on the Cowboys' path to the postseason. The excitement is tangible, and every fan watching knows that we are on the edge of something significant, where a handful of plays and pivotal moments will define the trajectory of the season. The Panthers and Buccaneers are also critical pieces in this puzzle, with matchups that could indirectly affect the Cowboys' playoff path. Tampa Bay and Carolina have games against each other that will determine how many losses each team finishes with, and these outcomes can either help or hinder Dallas' chances depending on how everything shakes out. For the Cowboys, winning out is ideal, but even winning most of the remaining games keeps the hope alive. Any slip-ups must be mitigated by outside help, and every week becomes a strategic battle, not just on the field but in the minds of fans tracking permutations and outcomes. The importance of timing, sequencing, and situational awareness cannot be overstated, as the Cowboys' season hinges on a combination of skill, preparation, and a little bit of luck. As we approach Week 14, every game, from the Seahawks to the Buccaneers to the Packers and beyond, takes on an amplified significance. Cheering for certain results in other matchups becomes part of the strategy, understanding that victories elsewhere can directly enhance the Cowboys' chances of making the postseason. The ebb and flow of wins and losses across the NFC, combined with the narrow gaps separating teams in the standings, create a unique intensity that defines this stage of the season. The next few weeks are going to be a thrilling ride for Cowboys fans, with every touchdown, sack, and defensive stop carrying weight far beyond a single game. Picking up right where we left off, the upcoming games for the Dallas Cowboys are shaping up to be a gauntlet, but one that defines champions. The pressure on the team is immense, not just in terms of wins and losses, but in the psychological and strategic stakes that each matchup presents. The Lions game on Thursday Night Football is pivotal, setting the tone for the remaining stretch of the season. Detroit sits just ahead in the standings, and a loss to them would place the Cowboys in a precarious position. Winning this game is not simply about a single victory. It's about flipping the standings, gaining momentum, and establishing confidence heading into a series of high-stakes road and primetime games. Every yard gained, every defensive stop, and every turnover forced will carry implications far beyond the scoreboard. A victory over the Lions would not only inch Dallas closer to a playoff berth, but also send a strong message across the conference that the Cowboys are fully capable of competing with the elite teams in the NFC. Following the Lions, the Cowboys will face the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Chargers, both on the road and both demanding performances under the glare of primetime television. The Vikings bring a disciplined defense and a dynamic offense, making them a formidable challenge. The Chargers, led by a capable quarterback, will test the Cowboys' secondary and require precise execution from both the offense and defense. These games are crucial because they are not just about tallying wins. They're about establishing the Cowboys' identity heading into the postseason. The team must balance aggressive play calling with careful management of the clock, minimize turnovers, and execute under the intense scrutiny of national broadcasts. Each game is a chess match, with coaches adjusting strategies and players making split-second decisions that could ultimately dictate playoff positioning. The Commanders and the Giants complete the slate of remaining opponents, providing both opportunities and risks. The Commanders, with a well-rounded roster, pose a threat that cannot be underestimated. Success against them requires precision in both the passing and running game, as well as a cohesive defensive approach that can adapt to shifts in momentum. The Giants, while less of a threat in the standings, present their own challenges, particularly in terms of managing the pace of the game and preventing complacency. Every matchup carries lessons and consequences that will ripple through the playoffs, emphasizing the importance of consistency, focus, and resilience in high-pressure scenarios. One of the most fascinating aspects of this season is the wild card race, which remains incredibly tight and unpredictable. With half a game separating the top seed from the seventh, the stakes are razor-thin. Every loss and every win in this range has the potential to completely reshape the playoff landscape. Detroit and Carolina are in close contention, and their performances over the next few weeks could either open the door for Dallas or close it unexpectedly. In this environment, Cowboys fans are not just cheering for their team to win. They are analyzing schedules, monitoring opponents' injuries, and calculating the myriad ways in which results across the league could impact their own postseason chances. The interplay between wins, losses, and tiebreakers becomes a complex puzzle that adds a layer of intensity to every moment of the season. For the Cowboys, winning out is the ideal path, but it is not the only path. Even with a single loss, the team can still secure a playoff spot, though the level of outside help required escalates dramatically. Each remaining game must be approached with a mindset of both self-reliance and situational awareness. The Lions game is particularly consequential, as a loss here could force the Cowboys to rely heavily on the missteps of other teams. In contrast, a victory would simplify many of the scenarios, providing a cushion of security as they navigate the remaining schedule. This underscores the importance of peak performance in every quarter, every possession, and every critical moment on the field. Meanwhile, the NFC East continues to be a battlefield. The Philadelphia Eagles, sitting at 8 wins and 4 losses, remain a formidable competitor, but their schedule contains vulnerabilities. Matchups against the Chargers, Raiders, and Commanders present opportunities for Dallas to close the gap, particularly if the Eagles falter in critical moments. Timing is essential, and the Cowboys must capitalize on these opportunities while maintaining focus and consistency in their own play. The interconnection of results, both within the division and across the conference, highlights how every single game has strategic implications that extend far beyond the immediate scoreboard. Looking at the broader NFC picture, teams like the San Francisco 49ers, Green Bay Packers, and Los Angeles Rams each have remaining schedules that could swing in favor of the Cowboys, but only if the team maximizes its own performance. The 49ers, with a bye week approaching, will have a chance to regroup and adjust, potentially complicating Dallas' path if they secure additional wins. The Rams, recovering from a recent loss, still have enough talent to challenge the playoff race, while Green Bay's unique tie scenarios add yet another layer of complexity to the playoff calculus. Navigating these dynamics requires careful monitoring, strategic thinking, and a willingness to adapt to changing circumstances in real time. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a stunning twist that has sent shockwaves through the football world, whispers around the NFL suggest that Dak Prescott, the cornerstone quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, may be closing a chapter that has defined much of his career. The rumor mill ignited when Prescott reportedly held a press conference that hinted at his departure from the iconic franchise, leaving fans and analysts scrambling to make sense of what could be the most seismic shift in recent Cowboys history. Sources close to the team claim that the quarterback appeared composed yet resolute, projecting a mix of gratitude and uncertainty. The buzz suggests that Prescott's announcement may not just be about football, but a personal decision influenced by long-standing dynamics within the organization. Speculation has already begun. Some insiders hint at potential reunions with former coaches or even interest from rival teams looking for a high-profile signal caller to transform their season. Across social media, fan reactions are a whirlwind of disbelief, excitement, and concern. Dallas faithful seem torn between holding onto the legacy Prescott has built in the Lone Star State and bracing for a future without the man who has thrown countless memorable passes. Industry pundits are already weighing the implications for the Cowboys' draft strategy, free agency moves, and team leadership. A change at quarterback of this magnitude could ripple across the league, reshaping power dynamics and sparking a flurry of trade rumors. While nothing is confirmed beyond the press conference murmurs, the conversation is undeniable. Conversations in locker rooms, front offices, and sports bars are all circling the same question. If Prescott does leave, where will he land, and how will the Cowboys respond? The mere possibility of his exit has created a fever pitch of speculation, fueling everything from tactical analyses to fan-made graphics, imagining the next era of Dallas football. As this story develops, one thing is certain. The NFL world is holding its breath. Dak Prescott's potential departure is not just a headline. It's a narrative poised to redefine one of the league's most storied franchises. Whether this is the beginning of a new chapter for Prescott, the Cowboys, or both, the buzz shows no signs of slowing. For now, fans are left in suspense, imagining the next twist in what may be the most talked-about saga of the season. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.